sports. We are the fourth. We are so.
It's another warm summer night in Atlanta, Georgia, and hopefully the Braves at home will start to heat up. Tonight it's Game 3 of our series between the Braves and the suddenly surging Los Angeles Dodgers. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome back to SunTrust Park, where the Dodgers have come to town and taken the first two games, Joe, of this four-game series. And frankly, times are tough for the Braves all of a sudden here at SunTrust. The Braves have played the fewest home games of any team in the big leagues, and in their last 5, they've scored a grand total of 9 runs. That ain't going to get it done.
No, it's not just the hitting. You know, the pitching's fallen off a little bit, too. They've made some errors at home during this 13-game skid where they've gone 4-9, 6 home runs in those 13 games at home. That's a little odd here in this ballpark, the way the ball jumps, and it was certainly jumping last night. But you see the ERA, you see the inherited runners that have scored, and the 8 errors in those 13 games. And yes, while they played the fewest games in baseball for home games, they need to really heat it up, as you said, Chip, and start playing a little better. Things are getting a little tense, a little tight in terms of how the Braves have not played well, and they're fortunate that they're only 2.5 games out going into play tonight.
They've got Max Fried off the disabled list for Atlanta tonight. Alex Wood, the former Brave, will pitch for the Dodgers. Atlanta cuffed him around out in Los Angeles in early June. We'll have more on a steamy night for baseball. It's the Braves and the Dodgers, Game 3 coming up.
Fans will receive a limited edition Chipper Hall of Fame poster and discounted $15 outfield ticket. Good for the July 30th through August 1st series. So just head to Braves.com/Chipper Hall of Fame now to get your game ticket and poster today. Well, as you guys can see, an absolutely beautiful day here for baseball. We're leading you up to Game 3 between the Dodgers and the Braves. The Dodgers have won the first 2. And as we all know, the Hall of Fame induction is tomorrow. And our own Chipper Jones will be inducted into the biggest honor you can get in baseball. Check out what he was able to do with our Synovus greatness made here. This list could go on and on. 8-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger, and 19 seasons with Atlanta, you guys. This guy loves Atlanta Braves baseball. Hit a .303, so we figured who better than his former teammates to get a little more insight on what it's like playing next to number 10.
Superstar. Pro hitter. Hand-eye coordination. I mean, there's just a list. Great body for a guy of his age. He's got to work a little bit on his dress sense. And good person. Good fella. He's a good fella. Yeah.
When I walked in that first day, I wanted him to like me very quickly, so I kind of did whatever he said. I got him his Red Bull, got him everything he needed, so it was fun. I had a great time, and I think a lot of people still get starstruck when he walks around here.
A lot of days when I would be sitting in my chair in the clubhouse and watch him walk by me, I would have to pinch myself because it's Chipper Jones. He's been the face of this franchise, or was the face of this franchise for a long time, and for him to be such a good person and a great clubhouse guy and a leader was just the whole experience for me. Just to be around him was special.
What an honor for Chipper Jones. Our Fox Sports crew is doing an incredible job in Cooperstown bringing you guys coverage, so make sure to check it out because all eyes will be on Cooperstown tomorrow. But first, the Braves got to take care of business here tonight. Max Fried back from the DL. He will get the start for your Atlanta Braves taking on Alex Wood. We have Game 3 between the Dodgers and Braves with Chip and Joe coming up next.
The Georgia Lottery, and by the All-South Highway Safety Team. The All-South Highway Safety Team reminds you to play it safe by slowing down behind the wheel.
It's Christmas in July here at SunTrust Park, and Blooper having a good time with the fans. It's a sellout crowd here in Atlanta tonight. Every seat has been sold. Every standing room ticket available has been sold for Game 3 of this series with the Dodgers. Joe, who quite frankly have been like the Grinch the first two games, winning 4-1 last night and 8-2 on Thursday night.
Yeah, the Braves are going to have to get something going with guys on base too. Something funny about tonight's game, it doesn't seem to work right. This guy pitching for the Braves, Max Fried, is from Santa Monica, California. He's pitching for Atlanta. The guy pitching for the Dodgers went to UGA. It doesn't jive somehow, but that's what's going to happen. Two lefties.
As my dad used to say, that's baseball.
Yeah. Well, it is. Max Fried has done real well in his career as a starter, and that's all he's been doing this year for Atlanta. He's coming off the disabled list after a battle with those blisters on his fingers. He's hoping that those won't bother him tonight. If there was a third port key, it would certainly be friction, because he doesn't need any of that tonight. But strike one will be important, so he can utilize that big over-the-top hook that is so good, and yardage. We're not playing football tonight, but he's done a great job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. 12 starts in the minor leagues, only 2 homers. 3 starts in the big leagues, no homers, and we know what the Dodgers can do.
They've hit 12 homers against the Braves, all of them solos in the first 5 games head-to-head here in 2018. LA has won 4 of those first 5 matchups. So we're ready to go. The Dodgers at 58 and 46 on the year. The Braves 54 and 46 this season. And the first one is fired foul by Chris Taylor, and we are underway. 88 degrees. Doesn't feel like Christmas in the northern hemisphere, but for Peter Moylan, well, this is exactly what Christmas feels like. He's from Australia, and that's what the Christmas temperatures are for Santa Claus, who wears a short red suit. Bet you didn't know that. That missed inside to Taylor. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, it's just information flow right now.
Already on overload. 2 pitches into the game. Taylor at 257, 12 homers. 6 career leadoff homers for him, by the way. That's why he's batting first. And he's hit the Braves hard and successfully in his big league career. Already 3 hits so far in this series. There's that hook you like so much. A beauty.
Boy, a couple of rehab starts for him. Outstanding. 11 1/3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 4 walks, and 16 strikeouts. He's on his game.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's way too high. It's now 3-2.
That had everybody ducking.
Yeah, right.
The hitter, the umpire, Jeff Kellogg.
So now the payoff pitch to the Dodger leadoff man is tipped and caught. A 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Wow. Eating it up.
So 1 up, 1 down. Here's the rest of the Dodger lineup presented by their skipper, Dave Roberts. Manny Machado bats second. Matt Kemp third. Kike Hernandez gets his first start. Logan Forsythe the same. They welcome back Yasiel Puig from the disabled list. He's in right field. Alex Verdugo was sent back to the minor leagues to make room for Puig. Barnes and Wood the battery. Machado at the hot corner. 3 for 9 in the series. .25 homers, 67 driven in for the season for Machado. His first home run as a Dodger came here on Thursday night. A line drive 6th inning blast off Anibal Sanchez.
Got some life on that fastball tonight. He's airing it out. Not used to seeing him pop 95.
Now the 2-0 pitch for Machado. And well off the plate. Ball 3. Dodgers have gotten red hot. They've won 15 of 22 games this month. Their starters have won 11 of 14 decisions in July. That's why they've jumped out to the lead in the West.
That's a big key stat that you just said, that the starters have won 11 games. Swinging away 3-0 there. When they're winning that many of their games, that means they're going deeper into the ball game than usual, saving their bullpen some. Clayton Kershaw on your left was outstanding last night. The guy on the right, Rich Hill, was really good Thursday night.
Yeah, I would assume it's not often you say that Kershaw wasn't as good as Rich Hill.
Yeah.
But he was plenty good enough last night, as that's in for a strike. Full count for Machado, who was on his way to first base.
All fastball so far.
So back-to-back full counts for Mr. Fried. Let's see what Machado gets with one out. Struck him out. Another 95-mile-an-hour fastball. It was up the ladder. Machado couldn't resist.
He went to the express. Target was high and inside. It was delivered upstairs, top of the zone. Couldn't catch up.
And Machado might have been asking Kellogg if that pitch would have been called a strike, and I'm not sure it would have been. But Fried happy for the help. 2 swinging strikeout starts his night. And Matt Kemp is standing in. Kemp is hitless in the series, 2 for 17 against Braves pitching this year. There's that big hook.
95 and then to 71.
We don't have many 7-10 starts here at SunTrust Park, but as you look at the field, you can see Fried standing in some dappled sunshine. You've got some sunshine and shadows in straightaway center field. The hitter's background bathed in sunshine too. Not sure if that helps or has any effect at all for Max Fried here in the first.
It might help him a little bit, but the lights are beginning to take effect too, so that helps the hitters. That one stretch of light coming through the stadium looks like baseball stitches.
Sure does. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
They don't have a team up and down the order tonight with tremendous numbers with tremendous numbers against lefties, except for Matt Kemp. But he's having a good year all around. He's hitting .318 against left-handers and 9 of his 17 homers against him.
To center, pretty deep. Ender is back, and onto the track he goes to haul it in, and that retires the side. 17 pitches for Fried, couple of strikeouts, and the Braves go to work against Alex Wood. First inning, Atlanta trying to strike for the first time against Los Angeles in this 4-game series. Brian Snitker's lineup has Acuna, Culberson in at second for Ozzie Albies. That's noteworthy. Tyler Flowers gets the start and bats 5th. Camargo, Inciarte, Swanson, and Fried. And our old friend Alex Wood is on the mound for the Dodgers.
He's now 27 years old, 6'4", 210, was a 2nd-round pick by the Braves out of UGA in 2012. This year 6-5. 3.87 ERA, but against the Braves, his number's a little crooked, ugly. He lost to them earlier this year on June 9th out in LA.
Alex, as you know, with that very unique delivery of the baseball, I call it going backwards and forwards at the same time.
That's right.
And it served him well last year when he went 16-3 and started the year 11-0 in a Dodger uniform. Might recall, Joe, he wasn't in their rotation to start the year.
Yeah, it was an amazing year last year. Outstanding ERA, 49-38 as a big leaguer. His fastball sits in the high 80s, low 90s. Good sinking action. Excellent changeup and a curveball. With all that motion you were talking about, that changeup can be very effective.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Wood, who's gotten on a nice roll after a slow start. He blamed a mechanical issue for some of his early season troubles when he got out of the gate with a 1-5 record. Story I read about Alex is he feels like he's more upright when he gets ready to deliver the ball and has gotten back to his mechanics while a Bulldog up in Athens, GA. And he's on a nice roll, winning 5 of his last 7, and he just struck out Acuna looking to start the night. And Ronald not sure about that. Wood has strikeout number 1, his 99th strikeout of the year.
That was close, but it looked like a similar pitch that he called a ball just before that. So that may have been the beef that Acuna had.
So Charlie Culberson gets the start tonight at second base for Ozzie Albies. I was told that there's nothing wrong with Albies and his hamstring, but the Braves want to be cautious. He played the last 2 games. They'll give him tonight off, maybe able to pinch hit, and hopefully be ready to go tomorrow in the day game. 0-1 pitch.
When I talked to Ozzie in Washington right after he hurt his leg and it was anticipated that he wasn't going to play in Miami, I said, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. A few days off right now after the All-Star game, especially with all the duties he had there. And he said, no, I'm okay knowing that I'm not going to play in Miami. And they are being cautious, and rightfully so. Is that a banana he was eating?
Yep.
Get a little potassium in there, see?
Make sure that hamstring's fully nourished.
Yep.
Well, Ozzie, as you know, has such appeal for Braves country. You could ill afford to see him hurt that hamstring and miss 2 or 3 weeks. We only have 61 games left.
I'd ask you to repeat that, but I don't. It's too early.
2 balls, 2 strikes. I love it when he shakes his head like that. Culberson steps out in a scoreless game. Charlie at 280 on the year, 5 homers, 27 knocked in. He's got 4 hits this year against Dodger pitching, and a full count from Wood. Man, the park is filling up. It is a full house again here at SunTrust on a beautiful night. Wood ready, and here it comes. And that's hammered toward left. That's a long run for Kemp. Matt is not going to get there. Ricochets off the wall and back toward the infield. And Kemp, a nice job to corral that. Otherwise, Culberson might have been at third base. But he's happy with a 1-out double off the left field wall.
Well, Matt Kemp knows how to play that left field wall, that's for sure. Hanging breaking ball. Alex Wood's lucky this didn't go out of the ballpark. But when Matt realized he wasn't going to catch it, he was beginning to give ground already, and that's kept Culberson at second base instead of third.
So here's Freddie. Freeman had his hitting streak interrupted last night with an 0-for-4 game against the Dodgers. Gave LA a scare in the 8th inning. First pitch swing against Kenley Jansen was hit deep to the outfield in a game-tying situation, but Jansen got the out, and the Braves went down 1-2-3 in the 9th. in the 4-1 Dodger game. All about Freddie and his great work against left-handed pitching. He's 6 for 11 against Alex, and that one fouled away inside. That was close. Tough break.
Yeah, we don't like those pitches in on Freddie's hands. Knob of the bat. And then you got Austin Barnes.
So no balls, 2 strikes. Big lead at second for Charlie. And a pickoff play and back safely is Mr. Culberson.
Beginning with Freddie. There's a couple of guys in the batting order, in fact 3 through Tyler Flowers, that are wearing Alex Wood out in their career. Freddie 6 for 11, Markakis 6 for 11, Flowers 7 for 11.
Yeah, 19 for 33.
I hope they'll have 19 hits tonight.
That would be good. No balls, 2 strikes. With 1 out, Wood ready, checks the runner and brings it. And downstairs, 1 and 2. You know, Alex Wood wants to pitch well against the Braves. Atlanta traded him to the Dodgers, you'll recall, in the infamous Hector Olivera deal.
Ill-fated.
Yeah.
One of the things we got on the scouting report recently for Alex was that he's having a little trouble working out of the stretch, not from a mechanic standpoint, but just men on base. He's giving up a lot of hits and a lot of batting average. Runners on base are hitting. They're hitting 303 against him with anybody on. 312 runners in scoring position versus almost a 80 or 90 point difference with nobody on.
And he knows that. He'd love to pick off Culberson and start over with Freddie Freeman. But those numbers really surprised me from a mechanical standpoint, because Joe, from the windup and the stretch, he looks like the same guy. There's really not much difference, is there?
That's true.
One ball, 2 strikes. Another half-step lead at second, and Freddie chased and didn't get it. Well, the high fastball is paying dividends for both starters early on. Alex Wood has 2 strikeouts in the opening inning, and that brings up Nick Markakis with Culberson at second, and 2 outs now. Nick, our Georgia lottery, hitting the jackpot.
Leading the league in hitting.
He is something. All reliable. 125 hits, 40 multi-hit games. He's reached base in 14 straight for Atlanta. Now Wood's ready, and his first offering to Markakis. He is turned on foul. Strike 1. We saw with Freddie Freeman, and now with the first pitch to Markakis, maybe that's the game plan for Alex Wood. Try to jam these Braves lefty hitters.
Don't let them get their arms extended. But to offset that, he's also got to be able to throw that breaking ball down and away to get him to give up something. If he makes him aware of that pitch inside.
Let me ask you another question about the way the rotation sets up for the Dodgers. 3 left-handers in a row. Hill, Kershaw, now Alex Wood. I would think as a hitter you'd feel a lot more comfortable facing the 3rd lefty in a row than the 1st.
No doubt. They got another guy close to coming back. We talked about him earlier in the series, Ryu, who is not too far away.
So they could have four
Yeah.
four lefties in rotation. They've got Ross Stripling going tomorrow afternoon, and Walker Buehler. That's 6 guys available to start for LA. This one's lifted towards center, and Kike Hernandez is there and has it, and that retires the side. No score after deliberate first inning at SunTrust. More to come tomorrow. Chipper addresses the crowd with his much anticipated induction speech. You can catch it all during an extended Braves Live post-game show after tomorrow's broadcast. Cooperstown coverage on Fox Sports South is presented by Mizuno.
I'm glad that driver's driving slow. That is precious cargo aboard there with Taylor about to have a baby any minute.
I mean, any minute.
Yeah.
So we wish Chipper and the entire Jones family luck tomorrow. Sure, it's a festive night tonight at the Otesaga Hotel and beyond in Cooperstown.
Yeah, I wonder how the golf tournament went. If any money was exchanged.
As Kike Hernandez leads off. Well, you know all about taking money from guys like Jeff Francoeur. He's up there too.
Well, once in a while you get lucky.
Hernandez has had a quiet road trip at the plate. 4 for 28 and a loss. Remember, he was the final pitcher in the 16-inning game when Trevor Plouffe hit a home run to win a game for the Phillies. Hernandez at 221 on the year. 2 balls, no strikes. And a line drive into left field. Acuna is going to hustle over, try to cut it off. He gets it on a second bounce. And Hernandez slams on the brakes. Good play by Acuna. It's a long single for Kike Hernandez.
Good jump by Acuna on that to get over and cut it off. Did not get away with that high fastball.
So free to the stretch for the first time with Cody Bellinger up there, the Dodger first baseman, with a 243 mark and 17 homers. And right there, a called strike. Bellinger has a couple of hits in the series. Both of them singles. He scored a couple of runs. Has struck out twice. And has whiffed a whopping 104 times already this year. And that's fouled back and out of play. Dodgers are a .500 club against left-handed starters. They're 15-15 for the season. Bellinger, a .225 hitter against southpaws with 5 of his 17 homers. And as a club, LA hits lefties at a .233 average. That's why Dave Roberts has shaken up his lineup tonight. No Max Muncy, for example, as that's upstairs. But Muncy is one of the Dodgers that hits lefties the best, so go figure. Yeah.
This guy stands so straight up and down that when you go into a swing from that very stiff-legged stance, your head's going to have to move at some point, either down or forward. His does both. So when you've got a lot of head movement, that means your eyes are moving, and you're trying to hit a moving target coming toward you. Makes it mighty tough. Now then, having said that, great year last year with all the home runs. He's got 17 already this year, but just thinking big picture, his average could probably be a lot better if his head wasn't moving as much.
One ball, 2 strikes. And I believe that hit him. No swing. And so Bellinger will take a very painful trot to the first base bag as Fried hits him, and 2 are on, nobody out. And Bellinger walking toward the Dodger dugout is going to hand his protective gear to the trainer. Let's see where this got him.
That looked like fingers. We all know what happens when you get hit on that wrist. What happened to Freddie Freeman, but it looks like they're looking at his thumb.
Who was the trainer for the Dodgers when you were there?
Bill Bueller.
Bill, I remember Bill. Okay. Cardinals had a guy named Gene Gieselman.
Sure.
Remember Gene Gieselman? And I always remembered as a kid, the trainer would come out in their super tight Rick Peterson trainer's pants, and they'd have that silver canister attached to their hip like a holster, and or a pistol in a holster, and they'd come out and they'd spray that cold spray every time a guy got hit.
They still do that in soccer, but you know they run out of that stuff by about 3-minute mark.
Logan Forsythe, the batter. 2 on, nobody out, and that's taken low, ball 1. I don't know what would be worse, getting hit by a pitch or having the cold spray sprayed on you.
Cold spray actually helped.
Did it really?
Yeah, it kind of numbed it for a few seconds anyway.
Forsythe at .215, couple of homers, 13 knocked in, and that one smacked towards center. It'll carry out to Ender. Hernandez is going to tag, and the relay throw from Dansby at third ricochets off the batter runner's helmet. And Fried hustles to the plate to handle those duties as Flowers handles the ricochet. Did that get Camargo or did it get the base runner? And Johan might have gotten spiked as he stuck his nose in there to try to make the play at third base.
Hit the run. Oh boy, he got spiked good right in the shin, right below the knee.
So Hernandez reaches third on the fly ball, but Bellinger takes second on Dansby's errant throw, and they're at second and third with 1 man out, and Yasiel Puig a chance to put the Dodgers in front. Puig missed a lot of time with a right oblique problem, and he jumps on the first pitch he sees and shoots that to right field. That's going to bring home Hernandez, and the ball gets away at second from Culberson, but no further advance, and the Dodgers strike first.
Got to tighten this up. That's sloppy. Not that Bellinger was going to circle the bases and score after tagging up, but that's, you know, Charlie missing that ball is careless on the throw in from Nick. careless not keeping the double play in order on the throw in on the fly ball by Forsythe.
Yeah. Well, you remember Ron Fairley, the old Dodger infielder. He used to say something all the time: give them what they earned. Right? And the Braves defensively have certainly been sloppy, as you said. 3 errors in the final game in Miami, 3 errors the first night here at home against LA, and now 1 tonight. That's 7 errors in the last 4 games. That's not going to help either.
Just so unlike this team.
So Austin Barnes is the Dodger hitter, the 8th place man on the lineup card, and their catcher tonight, batting .208. And that's cued foul. It's 0-2.
Had to be encouraging for the Dodgers to see Puig hit the ball that hard that way. His first at bat after the oblique injury.
So he's got 36 runs batted in. LA's got the 2nd inning lead. And Barnes has to protect behind 0-2. Pretty close.
Missed. Yeah, just missed.
Tyler Flowers having a polite conversation with Jeff Kellogg about that pitch. Let's see if the Braves double up here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. LA cashes in a leadoff single from Kike Hernandez. A Yasiel Puig sac fly, the only run to this point. And that's right there, belled high at 97 miles an hour.
Whoa.
That was impressive and thrown with some anger. LA strikes first in the 2nd.
You know, I met him when I was a kid, his first year in the big leagues, which he hated when I told him this story, but I was in 4th grade. He came to our elementary school field day. He ate lunch with us. He actually literally sat right next to me for lunch. So when I was in 2008 in my first big league camp, I had to tell him that story, and he immediately hated me, and then we became friends.
Well, that'd be pretty cool. You have Chipper Jones come to school and have a piece of that rectangular pizza and warm milk.
Yeah, great day.
Right?
Yep. Lunch lady yelling at you because you're not moving fast enough.
Do you think
you only get one?
Well, I was going to say, do you think Chipper got Tyler's tots, put them in his pocket, and took them home?
No doubt.
Like Napoleon Dynamite?
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Yeah. We'll be having Chipper Jones memories all game long. Same tomorrow afternoon as Tyler Flowers leads off the second. Alex Wood's been given a modest 1-0 lead. Camargo and Inciarte are coming up next. And right there, a called strike for the Braves catcher. 0-1. Alex Wood hasn't lost a game since June 9th. He's pitched 6 or more innings in 5 straight Dodger games. And beat Milwaukee in his last outing.
Yeah, he got a ton of runs of support. Beat the Brewers 11-2. 6 innings, 100 pitches. He's got an excellent strikeout to walk ratio, though, coming into the game. 4.26 to 1.
2 strikeouts, 1 hit, no walks for Wood in the first inning. As he readies with his 2-1 pitch, it's outside, ball 3. We've had so many unbelievable debuts in recent vintage for the Atlanta Braves. Alex Wood's first big league game over at Turner Field was one for the ages. I'll never forget the shot our great Fox crew had of his mom. Who came down from the family home in Charlotte to watch Alex debut in the big leagues, and the Niagara Falls of tears just flowing down her face, seeing her son pitch in Atlanta after his great work at Georgia.
Hey, she's back.
And wearing her
still nervous
Dodger shirt. Yes, she is. And she's a delightful lady. 3-2 pitch is off the plate. A rare walk. Good start for Atlanta here in the second. What did Mom think of this pitch?
It was about a foot outside.
Well,
Mrs. Wood.
Just like every parent would say.
Yeah.
Come on up, that's a strike.
He didn't walk anybody against the Braves out in Dodger Stadium June 9th, but did not get out of the 5th inning. 9 hits, 4 runs, only 2 were earned.
He was very frustrated when he left the mound out in LA, because again he had very little luck against the Braves since putting on a Dodger uniform. Now he's got Camargo up there. Johan at 257. Johan 1 for 8 in this series so far. And that served out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
First batter that he hasn't thrown a first pitch strike to.
Ground ball the other way. Nice pick by Forsythe and a beautiful throw to first. That was some kind of play. And a great idea by Camargo to try to fill that vacant hole on the right side of the diamond, but Forsythe with terrific range got his man for the first out. It is, however, a productive out for Camargo. Flowers in scoring position.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well Johan was running after getting spiked. He got back to the dugout a little gimpy. Checked out by George.
And Ender Inciarte will stand in. He's 5 for 16 against Alex Wood. And as we told you earlier in the week, Ender's been a second half player for much of his big league career, and that's kept up. Another ground ball to second. Close play at first. Flowers at third with 2 outs. And now Dansby Swanson, the batter. Pitcher next. See how Wood attacks the Braves shortstop. Well, he won't even bother. They're going to walk him intentionally and go after Max Fried.
You know, Dansby didn't even get to the dirt.
So after the intentional pass, Fried will try to help himself. He's 1 for 7 at the plate with 3 strikeouts. Right there, a strike. We'll keep you up to date on the Phillies and Reds, the Nationals and Marlins. Those games very important to Braves fans tonight. Atlanta 2.5 behind the Phillies in the East. The Nationals have gained 2 games on the Braves in as many days. Washington's 3.5 behind Atlanta for second place, 6 games out behind the Phillies. Alex Wood, 2 quick strikes. And that's put in play, but right to the first baseman, and an easy play for Bellinger. And that retires the side. Flowers and Swanson left stranded. Alex Wood leads 1-0, and he's due up first.
The third inning, and you heard Chip and Joe talking about it earlier in the game, just the recent home struggles for the Braves. Now, they've played the fewest home games in Major League Baseball. You also heard them mention only scoring 9 runs in these last 5 home games. Well, I spoke to Brian Snicker about what he thinks it is, and he said, you know, we just need to get that feel back again that we seem to have lost. How to do that? I don't know. He said it's a 6-month season, and they've had 4 pretty good months, but that doesn't make a year. And he said, we just got to get this thing going again, but it's not going to be easy for 6 months. You have to fight through it and take it a day at a time. And Chip and Joe, that's what they're doing. They're taking it a day at a time and hoping they can get that one spark that'll start them off on another winning streak.
Well, they need one, Kelsey, as you said, with so few home games. This could be a big home field advantage for the Braves over the final 2+ months of regular season action. But so far, it hasn't worked out. Braves have dropped 14 of their last 23 games. And as Kelsey mentioned, just 9 runs at home in their last 5. That is very unlike this Braves team.
Brian alluded to something last night in his post-game comments about trying to get on the board early and trying to get a lead early, and how that translates into more wins. And certainly it does for Atlanta. But they've had trouble doing that. They'd got ahead last night. It lasted less than a half inning. And Grandal hit a home run to tie it.
So Alex Wood leads off for LA. He throws left, he bats right, and that's upstairs. Ball 2.
Correction. Verdugo hit the homer that tied it. Grandal homered later.
Wood 2 for 35 at the plate with 19 strikeouts. Let's not do to him what the Braves did to Clayton Kershaw last night, shall we? Kershaw was brilliant. He walked 3 times and had a 2-run single. First Dodgers starter to walk 3 times in a game since Don Sutton. That was back in 1976.
Correct.
That had plenty of movement on it, and Fried with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball has his 4th strikeout tonight.
This is the hardest we've seen him throw. He is cutting it loose, that 97-mile-an-hour fastball to get Barnes to end the 2nd inning. absolutely the hardest we've ever seen him throw.
So Taylor, the batter, he struck out his first time up. Fried struck out 11 Cardinals on June 30th up in St. Louis. That, of course, his career high. He's got 4 so far tonight.
Boy, was he good that day.
Upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes.
I don't believe he walked. I know he didn't give up a run. But he might have walked a couple of guys that day.
Yeah, he had 3 through 101 pitches in 6 2/3 innings. But right now, Joe, there's nothing the Dodgers can eliminate. All of his pitches are really crisp.
He's thrown a couple of good changeups like that one. Could have been effective too.
One ball, 1 strike. Well, as you mentioned, he's a Southern California kid. I guarantee you he's got a ton of friends and family watching this game back west.
Well, it's because nobody in Los Angeles can watch the Dodgers on TV.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that part.
Had a bad cable thing going.
Yeah.
Cable wars.
1 ball, 2 strikes. So this one will be called the Saturday night shutdown for would-be Dodger fans. But welcome to our broadcast as Max Fried and Alex Wood squaring off in game 3. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gentle breeze blowing out toward right center. And it's apparently high. Full count. Taylor has struck out a whopping 121 times this year. Not this time. He singles up the middle. So that's the second LA hit. And it'll bring up Machado, who struck out on a high fastball back in the first. Again, Flowers talking with Jeff Kellogg about the pitch that preceded the base hit. Looked like some of the baseball caught the zone, but it was up and off the plate slightly, it appears. Let's see if Fried gets that call in this sequence with the Dodger third baseman. Is it against the unwritten rules? You know, you hear the umpire and the catcher talking about a pitch in a sequence. You know, the catcher wants it, it's called a ball. Does the hitter ever have a chance to say something to the umpire in that situation, or do you have to just sort of let them sort it out?
Most of the time you're letting them hash it out. I certainly, if I had an opposing catcher say something about that was a good pitch, so and so, you know, got to have that strike, I would say no, it was high. He was right. I wasn't going to let him be the only lobbyist.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was wondering if the batter ever says anything. You seldom see that. You often see the catcher looking at the pitcher and you can tell that he's saying something to the umpire. 1 ball, 1 strike. Snap throw back to first, and Taylor's back easily.
I also had a pitch called a ball on me once, and the catcher said, "That was a pretty good pitch." And Al Clark was the home plate umpire, and he goes, "Yeah, Joe, that was really a good pitch," and I called it a ball. And I thought, well, at least he told me that if it's there again, it's going to be a strike. He missed it.
2 balls and a strike. That ball in the dirt. Taylor took off, and he's going to slide in safely.
Good read by him.
Was he running with the pitch, or did he take off?
If he was, it was on a delayed steal, but it's going to be a wild pitch. It was a good read that he saw the ball was going to be down.
Yep, you're right. It is a wild pitch. And Machado a 3-1 count and an RBI chance. It's taken low, and Machado will flip the bat away and head to first base. First walk for Max Fried, and Matt Kemp will be the batter. So far today, it's been a quiet day on the trade front. I haven't seen any acquisitions come across the wire as of a few minutes ago tonight. Trade deadline is 3 days away before the waiver period takes over after July 31st.
An extended conversation here between pitcher and catcher. I'm wondering if the next pitch after Taylor advanced to second, if they got crossed up on their signs, and we're getting that squared away.
Well, let's see if Max can get Kemp to hit the ball on the ground. Kemp's hit to 9 double plays. And that is most among Dodgers who've been here since opening day. Because Manny Machado's hitting to 14 double plays, but those came with the Orioles.
That average just dropped below 400 during this series with Atlanta.
Because the Braves have held him down. Kemp is 2 for 17 against Braves pitching coming into action tonight. He's flied out to center. So now 2 for 18 overall. 2 on, 1 out for him here. And that's lifted a mile high to right. Markakis will have room to make the catch. And no advance by the Dodger base runners. Kemp flies out, 2 away. That's a big out. Now you can get Hernandez, you hope, and turn things back over to the top of the Atlanta order. Kike Hernandez singled and scored the only run tonight.
He may be the guy that's affected most by the acquisition of Machado, because Hernandez is a very versatile player and playing center tonight, but he can play shortstop, third base, or second too if you need him to.
Hernandez acquired from the Marlins as part of a 7-player trade before the 2015 season. With his pitching assignment with the Dodgers in Philadelphia, the only position on the field he hasn't played is catcher. So there's that versatility you were talking about. And he's come up with some big hits in postseason play. This is a man that last year hit .215 for the Dodgers. But in their playoff series against Arizona, the Cubs, and Houston, picked up 8 hits, hit 3 homers, drove in 8 RBIs.
Wow.
In their run to the National League Championship. So he was big time clutch. This time grounds to third, and Camargo will step on the bag, and that will retire the side. Nice job by Fried to get out of third inning trouble. Top of the order coming up. It's 1-0 LA. Second time through the order for the Braves offense as we head to the third inning. Ronald Acuna will lead off. He struck out in the first inning for the Braves. We trail 1-0. Ronald's done a nice job leading off for the Braves. He's our Yellowwood brand, bringing the lumber feature.
Need him to bring it some more, get on base more, and get some rallies started for the Braves offensively. He's been good there, and he's drawn walks.
Acuna's scored 7 runs since taking over at the top of the order. And that one's out of play into the second deck. 2 balls and a strike. Funny swing there and fouled back. 2-2.
Yeah, that ball got on him. It's almost like he didn't pick it up right away.
Ow.
That popped all the way up here.
Oh boy. And Acuna's down on a knee. He doesn't want to rub that spot, but he's going to need some attention. George Poulos, the head athletic trainer for the Braves, out to check him out. Ron Washington there as well.
He's pointing to the outside of his leg. I hope it missed the knee. In fact, it got some of the shin guard. That helped, and that was probably the noise we heard. But that leg was planted. No give at all. Now he needs to steal second and third and let everybody know he's okay. That's a rally starter right there.
There you go. So Acuna hit by a pitch. Charlie Culberson doubled off the wall and left his first time up. Let's see if he can chase Ronald around here. 15 doubles for the Braves second baseman, who again getting a start for Ozzie Albies, with whom the Braves want to be cautious, make sure that that hamstring gets proper rest. Ozzie played the first 2 games of the series. We have a day game here tomorrow. Might see Ozzie back in the lineup for game 4. Pitch is hit toward third. Second base 1, first base 2, and around the horn double play. I know Manny Machado wants to play shortstop, but boy, he's an excellent third baseman. That was slick, smooth, and what a quick throw to second.
It was, and he threw it from where he fielded. He didn't take his time to stand up and still made a very strong, accurate throw. Made it easy for Forsythe. Didn't have to worry about the base runner. Yeah, it was said of Machado when he moved to short with the Orioles that Brooks Robinson said, "Why would you move the best third baseman in baseball to shortstop?" That was pretty good praise.
Yeah. And I guess the metrics say that Machado was a subpar shortstop. Something I read a scout say was, all I know is that when the ball's hit to him at shortstop in Baltimore, he gets to it and they're turned into outs. So I don't know how you measure how good a shortstop he was. But like you said, if Brooks Robinson says he's the best third baseman, why argue with that?
That's good enough for me.
You bet. One ball, 2 strikes for the Braves first baseman. Freddie Freeman chased a high heater.
Somehow you knew Albies would be over there pestering him.
Another 1-2. And Freddie got just a piece of that to stay alive.
Good breaking ball. Got him with a fastball first time around. Bounced all around the glove for Barnes, but he couldn't hang on to it.
Back to the high heat again, and Freddie fought that off. A ball and 2 strikes. Reds 2, Phillies 2. Top of the 5th inning in Cincinnati tonight. Nationals and Marlins, no score in the 4th down in Miami.
Neither one of those two teams in Cincinnati having any trouble scoring.
No. Phillies hit 7 home runs 2 nights ago. Reds came back and won 6-4. Mason Williams hit a homer for the Reds, his first homer in the major league since 2015.
Well, it was crushed.
And the pitch is off the plate. He didn't swing. Tonight, Rhys Hoskins has hit a homer for the Phillies. Talk about hot.
Ooh, yeah.
7 homers in his last 8 games, including the blast that gave the Phillies their 2nd run tonight.
And I think Eugenio Suarez has hit home runs in 5 straight games.
That's correct. Boy, he's a good player too. Tell you what, the Reds are not as far back as you might expect, in my opinion. Fly ball to left and playable for Kemp. They're going to score a bunch of runs if they can get their starting pitching in order. Look out for Cincinnati in 2019. 1-0 LA. We are off to the 4th. Pre-game ceremony, the Alumni Softball Home Run Derby, and photos on the field. Head to Braves.com and get your tickets for Alumni Weekend and see the full schedule of events. Hope Nuxie's here for the alumni festivities. Always one of the more popular Braves alumni.
Well, I know where Phil is right now.
You bet.
He's enjoying Cooperstown. And I know very proud of Chipper.
Cody Bellinger hit by a pitch his first time up. 1-0 LA as Max Fried turns it loose, and that missed downstairs, ball 1. And a late swing and a miss, even count. Nationals in a crossroads series with the Marlins. They've won the first 2 games down in Miami. Thanks to Max Scherzer's 11 strikeouts. They won 9-1 last night. No score in that one in South Florida with Gio Gonzalez pitching for Washington. Read something before the game tonight. Someone online suggested that if the Nationals fare poorly the next 2 days in Miami, that the Dodgers have kicked the tires on Bryce Harper.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Really?
No. They have the wherewithal to do it.
One ball, two strikes, nobody on or out.
Not only that, they've got a position for him too. Yasiel Puig just coming back from the disabled list tonight, but might be a guy that goes the other way.
Or Verdugo, who just went back to the minor leagues and hit a home run in this series. But all that is speculation, quite obviously. Nationals still very much alive in the divisional race, as well as the wild card, but they're still 6 games out of first place and 2 teams to pass in the East. And a swing and a miss. Good off-speed sequence from Fried there. And Bellinger to a knee is struck out. That's 5 for Max.
Just excellent delivery on it. Deceptive. Great location.
You might have heard broadcasters say of a hitter, he missed that ball by a foot. I think he really missed that ball by a foot. That's how sharply the ball dropped on Bellinger.
Referred to as a bow locker.
Oh, that's exactly right. As Forsythe takes a strike. He flat out to center his first time up. Couple of homers for Logan. His last came on June 10th against the Braves out in Los Angeles. One of the 12 solo homers LA has hit against the Braves this year.
They had pitched him really tough first couple of games of the series, and then they came up against Sean Newcomb leading off an inning. It just seemed like any other inning, and man, he ambushed the first pitch of the half inning and hit it into those cheap seats down the nothing's cheap those seats right down the left field line at Dodger Stadium.
Breaking ball struck him out. Maybe another one of those bow lockers you talked about. He couldn't pull the trigger.
Look at that. That came out of his hand really high. Gave up on it. Bang.
In today's game, is that a tougher pitch for hitters to handle now because of it being a fastball slider cutter game more so than the big curve?
I'll tell you what it's harder for. It's harder for the umpires. You know, I give Jeff Kellogg a lot of credit for calling that, because I'm not going to say that umpires give up on it too, but you don't expect it to break down enough to catch the zone.
Puig, a sac flies, accounted for the game's lone RBI. And that one stayed too high. It's an even count. That is cued foul, and Fried a strike away from getting the Braves back in the box.
Dodgers sent Puig to the minor leagues for some rehab at bats. Had 9 or 10 at bats before being activated today. Needed him to check out his oblique injury. Been on the disabled list twice this year.
Now Fried ready with his 1-2 pitch for Yasiel Puig, the LA right fielder. And now 2-2. Yankees got clobbered today, 10-5. They're still without Aaron Judge. Chip fracture on his wrist after he was plunked a couple of days ago. Two balls, two strikes, and a broken bat right back to the mound, and Fried's got it, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down for LA in the 4th inning. Max is sawing him off and striking him out. Let's see if the Braves can get it even next. plaque brought to you by SunTrust. And Saturday, August 18th, it's Chipper Crazy Train Bobblehead Day, presented by Napa. Find all the Chipper details at Braves.com.
Can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to hear Crazy Train on the bobblehead.
Heck yeah.
Look at that hat. Liking that.
So while August is Chipper Jones month, July 28th is Brian Woodrum Day, our terrific Fox Sports producer, celebrating his 49th birthday.
Good call. 49.
He's really 36, but we've made him feel like 49.
I was just going to say, did you check that?
So Woody, happy birthday. Many happy returns, pal.
Here's to many happy promos.
Drop-ins and squeeze-backs later.
Yeah.
One ball, one strike.
A lot of new terminology in TV since I started.
Yeah.
Squeeze back.
Yeah,
that's a new one.
That's a biggie. The 1-1 pitch is cut on a missed. Dad used to have fun in the old days with the producer. His favorite joke was,
how many producers does it take to do an open? I don't know. What do you think?
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a little high. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now, Woody leads a great crew. Hope you enjoy their hard work. We're just the mouthpieces for all the great sound on the field, the great photography, all the graphics, all the information on your screen. And Woody's the ringmaster down there, and we appreciate his hard work, especially on his birthday today, as Markakis rung up. Alex Wood strikes him out. That's his 3rd. And his 4th inning off to a successful start. 1 man down.
You know, Alex's splits are reversed. Left-handers are hitting 282, right-handers 244, but he's making the lefties look bad tonight. He's kept them off balance. He's had them chasing pitches like that were a little off the plate. Very good mix and match on his fastball and breaking ball.
So maybe that mechanical tweak that he figured out about a month and a half ago is what we're seeing different from Wood tonight, because this is not a man pitching like a 6.05 ERA against the Braves. He's given up 1 hit. That was in the 1st inning to Charlie Culberson. 2 walks and a hit batsman, the only other Braves runners tonight. Joe mentioned all the good numbers in the middle of this Braves lineup against left-handed pitchers. Tyler Flowers is part of that. And Tyler is our SunTrust confidence player.
Against lefties, darn good numbers. 421 average, huge OPS. And again, great numbers against Alex Wood. 7 for 11 coming in.
Oh, good rip there. But Tyler fouled it straight back. A ball and 2 strikes. Into that Royals-Yankees game won by Kansas City 10-5. That's game 1 of a doubleheader. New York is rebounding in game 2. They lead Kansas City by a 3-1 score. A rough year for the Royals. They are 31-71. 40 games below 500. And a .304 winning percentage.
That's, I don't want to say that was unexpected, because a lot of people were expecting a 100-loss season for the Royals this year. Hopefully, in some of the deals they have made already with Herrera, now Moustakas going to Milwaukee, I hope they got some good young players in the deal.
Well, if you're playing .304 baseball and you've played 102 games, that means you're on pace to win 49.
Ooh.
And it might be tough for him to get to that, as you mentioned, with all the trades they've made. And they may not be done. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Baltimore's won 30 games. They have a .288 win percentage. They've got a pace of fewer than 49 wins working.
Apparently they got a pretty good pitcher from the Yankees, Dylan Tate.
Yeah.
In the deal for Britain.
2-2 pitch.
Yeah, but I say pretty good pitcher. He's a pretty good prospect.
Prospect, right.
And nobody knows when you make these deals what kind of players you're going to get in terms of how they translate to big league players. And I always use this time of year, this analogy with respect to trades. Good eye by Tyler again. And that was Fred McGriff. The Braves had a Double-A team at Greenville, South Carolina that won 100 games. They were just loaded with players. Among them, Melvin Nieves, who was top-notch outfielder by prospect terms. So the Braves sent Melvin and 2 other good players to San Diego for Fred McGriff. They were highly rated. They didn't pan out to be great major league players. Melvin got some time in the big leagues. But you're taking that chance. You're rolling the dice that you're getting good players, but you never know.
Another one is the Tim Hudson deal. Is that Charles Thomas and Dan Meyer and one other player?
Correct.
None of whom had all-star caliber careers in Oakland, and that's meant with no disrespect from a non-player's perspective. But you're right, they're suspects until they prove that they can do it.
And I'm saying the same thing that where the Braves are concerned right now, that if Atlanta's talking to some teams, and I'm assuming they are, in an effort to improve the club, that the other team, the other side, they don't know exactly what they're going to get. They do their best effort to scout, watch, see, and project, but you never know.
And that goes back to what we talked about the other night when we talked about Clayton Kershaw being the 7th pick in the draft. Max Scherzer, with all those Cy Youngs, was the 11th pick in the draft. I would imagine that at least 7, maybe 8 of those first 11 teams or 10 teams ahead of Scherzer would like to rethink their non-selection of him.
Well, you mentioned some players in that draft, and I think about Pittsburgh again taking the guy named Lincoln.
Brad Lincoln.
Yeah. Out of all those top 11 picks.
Ground ball to short. Taylor flips to second, 1. Forsythe the turn. It's another double play, 2 in as many innings.
They would have hoped to have landed on the right one out of 11. They didn't.
Alex Wood nursing a 1-0 lead. He's coming up in the 5th. Fans manage your dream team in franchise mode, plus get weekly stats, roster updates, and more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone. So far, the Braves have a lump of coal in their stocking on Christmas in July. It's 1-0 Los Angeles. Alex Wood, the former Brave, is throwing a 1-hit shutout. Max Fried hasn't pitched badly at all. A sac fly, the only reason LA has their 1-0 lead. Max has struck out 6 men through 4 innings, has hit a batter, has walked but 1. And he has had a great fastball curveball combo.
He sure has.
And that one missed a little low, I suppose. 1 ball, no strikes.
Good pitch, though.
For Austin Barnes. Look at this Dodger team, Joe. I can see why they'd be so dangerous and tough to match up against, because they have so many interchangeable players at interchangeable positions. Barnes is exhibit A of that. He has the rarest, I think, or one of the rarest defensive combinations in an LA uniform. He started as a catcher in 35 games, and he started at second base 18 times. Kind of the Craig Biggio plan. The other one is his teammate Cody Bellinger, who's played mostly first base, but he started 23 games in center field for LA. Then you add in Machado, who can play third and short, Taylor, who can play all the outfield spots and in the middle infield. Forsythe can play all over the place, and they're already without Corey Seager and Justin Turner. They are going to be a handful. As ball 4, a leadoff walk in front of the pitcher Alex Wood, who will be bunting. Second walk for Fried, and Wood will stand in.
You know that I grew up in the Dodger organization and certainly was taught how to play professional baseball and do things the right way. I want you to look at some things that were going on today in batting practice here with the Dodgers. What do you see? T-shirts. You see Chase Utley with no socks and pants up over his knees T-shirt. This was prevalent with their whole team. And I think about fans that come to SunTrust Park who are Dodgers fans and want to see their players. They had no idea who any of them were. Nobody had any kind of uniform or batting practice shirt on with their name on their jersey. They look very unprofessional. And I think I can say this because I know what the Dodger organization was all about.
There's the bunt. It is perfect.
But if I were a Dodger fan, I'd be embarrassed. And I don't know how Major League Baseball allows such attire when the gates are open and fans are watching. Chase Utley, I've had nothing but respect for him his whole career. I think he's a great player, and I thought he always played the game the right way. That was an embarrassment what he had on today during batting practice.
Yeah, when you think of all the merchandising that Major League Baseball does with their practice uniforms and the batting practice jerseys, I'm with you. Why not? Well, it's called a uniform for a reason.
Well, and there are batting practice shirts to wear with your names on them. And I think about Walter Alston, even Tommy Lasorda. Walter Alston would roll over in his grave if he saw that. Walter O'Malley would never allow such things. And I know it's a different age, it's a different era, but that's a complete lack of respect for the fans and for the game. And as I said, an embarrassment. Bobby Cox never allowed anyone in a Braves uniform to take the field for batting practice or anything else unless they had their uniform on. And for batting practice, you had to have your batting practice jersey on, as it's called, that has your name on it, so the fans know who you are when you're taking batting practice or ground balls or whatever. Now, you can get away with more when you're at home because the gates aren't open when you're taking BP.
Sure.
Nobody's in the stands. But that's not the case when you're on the road and the fans are filing in, paying their good money to come see you, even get there early so they can watch it. And I thought that was absolutely atrocious.
Chris Taylor, the batter, 2 balls, no strikes. RBI chance for him with the Dodger catcher Barnes at second after the sacrifice. And a swing and a miss.
They are a very good team, as we all know. Very talented. Went to the World Series last year, pushed the Astros to the brink. So act like it. Be professional.
Yeah, you get fired up about stuff from time to time, but this one I could sense really hit close to home because, as you said, you're a Dodger. Once a Dodger, always a Dodger.
I just know what else. The way things were taught and how you were taught to respect the game and respect your opponent and be respectful to fans. That uniform carried a lot of, you mentioned the word gold standard earlier. That was, is and was always one of the better organizations in baseball throughout history.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Dodgers lead 1-0. Chris Taylor, the shortstop. Big spot for him. And a nice stop by Flowers. And Barnes scampers back to second. It's another full count. Max has had a few of those tonight. But more often than not, he's been able to come back and get his man. He's walked a couple of batters, hit one. He's surrendered just 2 hits. It's lifted down the right field line and into the seats foul. It's still 3-2. Cincinnati's got the bases loaded, 1 out in the 5th inning in a tie game at the Great American Ballpark. Here it's 1-0 Dodgers, game 3 of 4. In our final look at Los Angeles. Regular season play here tomorrow afternoon. Hope you make your plans to join us. Big crowds expected for the Sunday matinee. The payoff pitch. Bang foul. So Taylor putting up a fight here in the top of the 5th. Heavy workload the first 3 innings. Fried had a 1-2-3 4th. And leadoff walk has pushed his pitch count to 80. Here with the Dodgers up, and he got a break there as Taylor chased that one down and away off the plate.
What did that pitch do?
I don't know, but it was filthy. 7 strikeouts.
It was 94, but it was almost like a 2-seamer that started sinking down and away. Target was inside.
Almost like a screwball.
Boy, oh boy. That was something else.
Dodgers haven't seen that pitch from Fried tonight, and it earned him a strikeout. And now Machado, the batter, he's whiffed and walked. That missed inside. Ball 1. Mentioned the Dodgers lead the West. A 1.5 lead over Arizona. Diamondbacks are in San Diego again tonight. Arizona won behind Zach Greinke last evening to stay a 1.5 off the pace. Zach Greinke won his 7th consecutive decision. He may be giving Max Scherzer a run for his money for the National League Cy Young Award. Greinke now 12-5 on the year. Patrick Corbin pitches for the Diamondbacks later tonight. So a 2-0 pitch coming from Max Fried. Barnes at second, 2 outs. If you don't want Machado, you've got Matt Kemp lurking on deck. Right now, Machado's hot. Kemp isn't.
Swung 3-0 earlier tonight.
So be careful here. The pitch. And that one's taken high. Machado windmills his bat back toward the Dodger dugout. Second walk of the inning, third walk of the game. And it will be Matt Kemp with 2 on and 2 out. Well, again, the Braves have held Matt down in this series. They've held him down in the season series. The thing that scares you is you look at his body of work, and this man's hitting near 400 with runners in scoring position. He's going to break out of it sometime. You hope it's not while back here in Atlanta. Culberson, Swanson, Flowers, and Fried discuss strategy with 2 outs. Jeff Kellogg is out to break up this meeting.
That's where the addition of Machado has really deepened their lineup and made you kind of make a decision over, in situations like this, the lesser of 2 evils, who you're going to go with. And I mean, think ahead. What if they got Bryce Harper? What if they batted him leadoff?
Yeah,
that would be too bad beginning of your game every night.
Yeah. Harper, Machado, Kemp. Then you could go.
Then you got Bellinger, and those, everybody's hitting a ton of homers.
Puig. I mean, you name it. So 2 on, 2 out, and a swing and a miss. And if they get Justin Turner back and Machado's playing shortstop, you throw him into that mix. And you've got Grandal, a switch hitter.
Forgot about Turner.
That's certainly salivating, I'm sure, for Dodger fans. And Miami, speaking of them, has taken a lead over Washington. That's 1-0 in the 5th. 0-1 pitch to Kemp won't be made. Fried spins off the mound.
This might be the at-bat of the night for Max Fried and for the Braves. Only down a run.
And runs have been awfully tough to come by, as we said, here at home the last 5 games.
Sure have. Dodgers are 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight.
So Max gets strike 1. Let's see if he can finish off Kemp. The pitch is hammered toward right center field. Long run. Ender still going. He's got it. Woo. A 2-run saving catch by Ender Inciarte. That ball was smoked. Out of luck is Matt Kemp and the Dodgers. They strand 2 base runners, and Atlanta's coming up in the 5th, down only 1-0.
First place Phillies visiting Cincinnati, and there goes that man Rhys Hoskins deep to left center, a 2-run shot, his 21st of the season. That put the Phillies up 2-1. You heard Chip mention it earlier. It was 2-2. The Reds had the bases loaded. The Phillies got out of that jam. It is still tied up 2-2 in the 6th inning, guys.
Okay, Kelsey, thank you very much for that update in Cincinnati. Here it's 1-0. What a catch by Ender Inciarte. Gold Glove outfielders are a pitcher's best friend.
And Max Fried very appreciative. So fresh off that great catch, get a rally started.
How many times do you see it? That makes a fine play, leads off the next half inning. And Ender is the man in the box against Alex Wood, who's twirling a one-hitter himself. 3 walks, but Wood's been bailed out by a couple of double plays. And that's served down the left field line, but slicing into the seats.
You know, we've talked quite a bit during the year about Ender's difficulties with left-handed pitching. But one of the things I've noticed is it seems like he's in that proverbial 0-2 count every time against a left-handed pitcher and at their mercy with whatever they're going to feature next.
Well, that was part of Ender's march to a 200 hit season last year. He hit almost 300 against lefties last year. Times have been tougher for him this season. And overall hitting 247 at the start of play this evening. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a good take there evens the count. Enciarte, Swanson, Fried. The Braves trio coming up as we approach 9 o'clock Eastern time in Atlanta. And that's sharply hit to second, but right at Forsythe. Makes a perfect throw, 1 out.
Sharply hit, but right at him.
Dansby was intentionally walked. Hope he's not too tired actually getting to the plate after walking from the on-deck circle. When they walked him, he was about 2 steps on the grass. He just said, oh, the heck with it. He put him on at first. As they faced Max Fried with 2 on in the second inning. Swanson enters play tonight, batting .251 for the year. What we've noticed from Mr. Swanson the last 3 weeks is how smooth he has been at shortstop. He's made a handful of highlight reel plays at short. In fact, the Braves tell us he has 10 defensive runs saved this year, which is 4th most among all major league shortstops. Andrelton Simmons and Nick Ahmed are the leaders.
I believe it. He has been very slick. I think he's playing a better shortstop right now than he did at any time last year, or for that call up in 16.
Yeah, I think you're right. Much more confident defensively. Offense is coming along. And remember, if you're hitting .251 and hitting 8th most of the time, that's a very good average in a very tough spot in the National League to hit.
Tough spot, you're right.
But he too, like Ender, in an 0-2 count. And he went fishing and didn't get it. Spun out of the right hand box. Alex Wood with 4 strikeouts, 2 outs, and the Braves pitcher is coming up.
And this is a prime example, a great example of how you can pitch up in the zone with an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, which is what that was. Everything else had been down, in, and then you elevate when you get ahead in the count. Hard for the hitters to lay off.
And it won't be Max Fried. The Braves are going to go to the bench. It's Reed for Fried. With 2 outs. And to your point, Joe, about that 89-mile-an-hour fastball, how much mileage have we seen Julio Teheran get out of that pitch?
Max Fried should feel very good about his outing today, coming back from the DL. We can only hope his fingers are okay. No blisters. Really good stuff.
Yep, that was one of your, well, your 3rd key. Usually you have 2. No blisters, no problem. Yardage, keep the Dodgers in the ballpark, did that. And I think he did a pretty good job of throwing strike 1 tonight. Certainly did good throwing strike 3. 7 whiffs in the game.
Down to thank his catcher too.
So now the fate of this game rests in the hands of the Braves offense and the Atlanta bullpen, trailing 1-0. Did he go? Yes, he did. And Alex Wood has struck out his 5th man. He's leading 1-0. Hernandez, Bellinger, and Forsythe coming up. Was something to smile about feature, and as you said, Joe, starts with Max Fried.
Just great stuff, and really started with his fastball tonight, touching numbers we've never seen him hit before. 95, struck out a guy with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and of course he had his hook. He used his changeup more tonight than we've seen. Got some very plenty swings, pitched a tremendous ball game, limiting this Dodger team to just 1 run.
So welcome back, Mr. Fried, from the disabled list. 45 strikes in his 87 pitches. Now he'll give way to Luke Jackson, the second Atlanta pitcher. And he's got the 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up. Interesting note that Chan Hartzog dug up for us about the Braves this month. Atlanta's record in July is 7 wins, 12 losses. Hitting .251 as a team. They've hit 16 home runs in the 19 games. And for the Braves bullpen, which has had its share of troubles this year, the Braves starters ERA is a full run higher than the Braves relief ERA this month. Braves relief corps a 4.26 ERA. A little bouncing ball to Dansby. He'll charge and throw first. Good stretch out by Freeman. And Hernandez is retired. So the job very simple for the Atlanta relievers. Don't give them any more runs and hope the top of the order again can get something started in the 6th. It's only a 1-0 game.
Bullpen did a good job last night. It was 4-0 after 4 innings. 4 innings of relief work, 1 inning each by Venners, Carl, Biddle, and Minter. Only 1 hit allowed. They each walked a man except for Minter. Minter did not. Struck out the side in the 9th. But a good night for overall for the bullpen.
Bellinger has struck out. He's been hit by a pitch and stranded. One of the best stories of the night for the Braves last night was the return of Johnny Venters, whom the Braves acquired from Tampa Bay. Kelsey, you had a great story about Johnny and his first night back in a Braves uniform after the Dodgers won Game 2 4-1.
Yeah, you know, Chip, I asked Johnny when it really all sunk in for him, the trade and being back as an Atlanta Brave. And he had all these cool moments yesterday, but he said, you know, the moment that stuck out is when I walked into my house after that game last night. I sat down on my own couch and realized that I'm home now. And he said he got to wake up, watch his kids play at the house, swim in the pool. And that's, you got to realize these guys are people too, and those moments mean just as much to them as going out and throwing a scoreless inning. But I know the Braves are happy to have him, and he's so glad to be back here.
That's a really good point, Kelsey. And we can't always pick where we're going to play unless you're a free agent. You have choices. So to get a tremendous break like this to come home is a great thing.
Full count for Cody Bellinger. Nobody on, one out. And downstairs, another walk. That's 4 issued by the Braves staff tonight. First by Jackson, and Logan Forsythe will be the hitter.
Luke's last 2 outings, he's given up runs, including a couple of days ago against the Dodgers, a third of an inning, a walk, 2 hits, 2 runs.
So here's Logan Forsythe. He's flied out and struck out. And back to first is Bellinger, who's a perfect 5 for 5 in stolen bases. They don't have a left-hander on the mound now facing them at first base.
Yeah, he's one of those big, long-legged guys that you can't ignore over there. Think, oh, he's a first baseman, he doesn't run, and that's not true. You told everybody about him playing center field.
Well, we said that Barnes is on the Craig Biggio plan. Looks like Bellinger might be on the old Joe Simpson plan. Play first and play center and steal a few bases.
If only there were some home runs scattered in there for the Simpson side of that.
Yeah. You know, that's the most shocking thing to me about the Dodger team the last couple of years. There's no conspiracy theories. I don't have an explanation for it. I'm sure they don't either. But we have both marveled the last couple of years at how the ball is flying out of Dodger Stadium.
Shocking. Really traveling there.
1 ball, 1 strike. As Jackson checks the runner. And delivers a strike.
By the way, we were talking about the home run Forsythe hit. I was talking about cheap seats, and I went, well, wait a minute, nothing's cheap, remember? Well, Chan looked it up, and they played the Brewers Monday.
Yeah.
At Dodger Stadium. And there's 1 seat left in that section on row 4. $53.
Really? 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I rest my case.
Yeah. Right? $53 for a cheap seat in LA. What are they? They're going to go over $3 million again this year. What are they averaging in attendance? Look that up here.
I don't know, if you go to Chan's tickets, you might get a better deal.
Didn't Chan start StubHub? 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Struck him out. 96 from Luke Jackson. 2 outs. Well, we told you the Braves have played the fewest home games of any team in baseball. The Dodgers have had 52 home games. They're averaging almost 47,000 fans a game. They're in first place. They've drawn 2.4 million fans already this year.
And that's great. That really is great for that franchise, for that ballpark to be full. It's always been full, it seemed like. It was rare that they weren't up at the top of the attendance marker.
Great fans, great park, great product. It's pretty simple, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
As Yasiel Puig is the only man with an RBI tonight. He bats with a runner at first and 2 outs in the 6th for LA. A run on 2 hits for LA. No runs, 1 hit for the Braves. This is an old-time game you'd see at Dodger Stadium.
That's right. You're right, because the ball didn't carry. Nobody was hitting the ball out in any direction. Always good pitching.
Not as much foul ground here as they used to have at Dodger Stadium. Heck, you could take out all those SunTrust and Delta seats. That might be a pretty close approximation.
Yeah.
What Dodger Stadium used to be. One thing we've got is a much saner sound system.
That's true.
1 ball, 1 strike. As Jackson readies and delivers. It's a little low. Good news in Cincinnati. Reds have taken a 4-2 lead over the Phillies. Marlins are leading Washington 1-0. Be great for the Braves to steal this game tonight. Shave a game off that Phillies lead.
I'll bet there were a ton of scouts in Cincinnati tonight too, with Matt Harvey pitching for the Reds.
And he's pitching well. Runner goes, and that one's fouled away, and Puig in frustration looks skyward. He missed his pitch. And now it's 2-2. You've been around the game your whole life. It has been a very interesting trade season before the deadline. We've got 3 days left. Is it going to be a fast and furious flurry to the final minute of the 31st, you think?
I'm a little skeptical that it will be, because all the big names that were rumored have already been traded. It doesn't mean that there aren't others out there, but all those big frontline guys.
Yeah, the Machados, the Britons, etc.
Yes,
are off the board.
Moustakas.
Yep.
Soria.
Yeah, Moustakas and Soria went to Milwaukee. They'll be in San Francisco later on tonight.
Familia. So there's a lot of top line, front line major league players that have already moved. Who's left?
Well, I would assume that's like the Reds. They've got some guys in their bullpen. You want them, though. Be prepared to pay a very high price. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that ball is crushed deep to left. Puig didn't miss that pitch. That's off the facade of the second deck. Walks and homers have plagued the Braves bullpen at times this year. They plagued Jackson here in the 6th, and the Dodgers lead 3-0.
You know what? He had a good fastball when he struck out Forsythe. He had a good fastball thrown to Puig that he fouled off and just missed. He got away from the fastball, threw him a slider, and I think Puig was even fooled by this a little bit. Look at that, just kind of a flip of his hands, but a hanger out over the plate. And he watched it. Can't blame him for one hit like that.
Almost brought down the second deck.
He is a strong man.
So welcome back from the DL, Yasiel Puig. He breaks open the game for LA. It's 3-0. And that is the first Dodger homer this year with a man aboard against the Braves. They've hit 13 home runs in 6 games against the Braves this year. That one a 2-run shot with 2 outs. And now Barnes takes another strike. It's 0-2.
Out.
The 1-2 pitch is fouled at the plate. I would assume, and it's only an assumption, that the Braves bullpen might be a little short-handed tonight. I doubt they'd use Johnny Venters on a back-to-back day. Got Jackson in the game now. Shane Carl pitched last night. Might be reluctant to use him. You know, of Sam Freeman's troubles of late, Brian Snitker has said he might try to use him in low leverage situations to get him back on the beam. So the 1-run game, probably not going to see Sam pitch. Minter's your closer, so he's not going to pitch now. Jesse Biddle pitched an inning with a couple of walks, so a lot of pitches last night. Dan Winkler's a setup guy, and Peter Moylan's been kind of a specialist right-hander. So again, an assumption. That's why Jackson's in this game in the 6th inning. He's the first and best option considering the situation right now for the Braves.
And he can pitch multiple innings.
Right.
And his spot in the order made the last out in the bottom of the 5th inning, so I'm sure the hope was to get a couple of innings out of him.
Ground out walk, strikeout homer. Now a 2-2 pitch to Barnes, and he flailed at that and came up empty. So 2 strikeouts for Jackson. The good news. The bad news, 2 runs on a Puig 2-run homer. LA 3, Atlanta zip. We go to the home 6th. Braves trail 3-0. School is right around the corner, and you can help celebrate with a back-to-school ticket package. Every back-to-school ticket package purchased will allow you to receive a customized Braves lunchbox, which features Freddie Freeman and Ender Inciarte, and a ticket for Sunday's game. Go to Braves.com, back to school, and get your ticket and lunchbox today, Sunday, July 29th. That's tomorrow, where Sean Newcomb and Ross Stripling will hook up in Game 4 of this series.
Top of the order again. Let's get something going.
Yep. It's gotten late early, as Yogi Berra might say. Acuna is 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch. Culberson and Freeman to follow. LA now leads 3-0. Behind Alex Wood is throwing a 1-hit shutout. That hit in the Atlanta first. Good cut, foul back. It's 0-2. There's nothing more fun and exciting when you watch a Major League Baseball team where every facet of their game is 10 out of 10. Hitting with runners in scoring position, pitching well, making great defensive plays. It's such a joy. This ball's hard hit to third. Nice pick, Machado, and he slings it to first. What a play, and Acuna can't believe it. When things aren't going your way, you get plays like this that frustrate you even more.
Big league play right there. Nicely done.
That's why Brooks Robinson said what he said.
Well, and he's such a good player. He's much more than just a good hitter. He's an excellent defender.
And so, partner, right now for the Braves, not much offense. Defense the last few games has been shaky, including an error tonight. Max Fried has had a good night, but down a run, and then rough inning for Mr. Jackson.
Well, here's the thing. Winning covers up a lot.
Yeah.
You know, if you're winning, sure. If some part of your game is going well.
Another chance for Machado.
You know, especially if you're scoring runs. If you're scoring runs in bunches, it covers up a lot of stuff. Right now, nothing is working. Got a good effort tonight from Max Fried, but there's one aspect that's got to start picking it up.
Yeah, and right now,
which one is it?
Exactly. Well, stay tuned for the middle of the 7th inning. It's the stretch. It's brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. Hopefully we won't get to the 7th for a while, but it'll take a 2-out rally as Freddie Freeman digs in. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Woods set down 6 straight after a 4th inning walk. Again, Alex came in with a 6-point ERA against the Braves in his career. He's got a 1-hitter.
You've been calling Nick reliable, and that's very apropos. But the part of the Braves team, the hitting, the offense has been very reliable all season long. And that's going to happen. You're going to run into good pitching. You're going to run into some tough luck. And that's when you need the other aspect of your team, pitching and defense, to kind of help out.
Yeah, last night it was a Clayton Kershaw 2-run single that broke the Braves back. You hope Puig's 2-run homer didn't do the same tonight.
Braves got 3 runs on 6 hits the last game in Miami. 2 runs on 7 hits the first night against LA. 1 run on 6 hits last night.
And 9 runs in the last 5.5 games here at SunTrust Park, which has not been a home field advantage for the most part. Braves finished under 500 at home last year. And this year, just 3 games over 500 here on their home turf.
And as Brian said, you just got to weather these periods of their season where you have these occasions where not much is working. And you just got to hang in there and keep grinding.
That's hit into the shift. Taylor bobbles it, gloves it, flips late to first. So there's an opening. Let's see if Atlanta can take advantage of a Dodger mistake. Taylor had to range far to his left to make the play. He couldn't. And there's the first Braves base runner since the 4th inning.
I'm sure he felt like that was fairly routine for him. He's got a little in between hop. Looked like Forsythe was right there with a better angle on it to field it to begin with.
So that'll be Taylor's 9th error this year. And let's see if Markakis can chase around Freeman and get the Braves on the board here. Wood with 90 pitches, very little stress. And in for a strike, 0-1.
A lefty and a righty up for the Dodgers in the bullpen. Peter Moylan up for the Braves.
JT Chargois is up for LA. And Scott Alexander's the left-hander.
How do you say his name?
Chargois.
I've heard you talk like that before, but usually it was on the road.
Well, my wife knows how to say Chargois a lot. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good cut.
And it's Caleb Ferguson, not Scott Alexander. I was so busy pronouncing Chargois, right?
You're so proud of yourself.
It's a miracle. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Alex has not given up a homer to a lefty this year. This would be a good time for the number 1.
And so my speculation about, okay, Woods the 3rd lefty in a row in turn for LA, 3rd game in a 4-game series. He might draw the short straw. Well, you can throw that out with the bathwater.
That's true.
He's been terrific. Trying to win his 7th game of the year. He started 1-5. So he's getting hot at the right time for LA. The 2-2 pitch. Oh, that's skipped up there, and Freeman saw that bounce in the dirt. He'll move up 90 feet.
That's something that you're taught in the minor leagues, but is hard for some guys to read. And that was an excellent read for Freddie, even before it even skipped away from Barnes. And what you're looking for is anything that on a line from the pitcher to the plate, you realize it's going to be in the dirt, take a chance and go.
Well, Wood needs to retire Markakis to prevent the potential tying run from coming to the plate. Let's see if Nick can spoil those plans. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And he almost hit him. So Markakis walks. That's 4 of those for Alex Wood. Tyler Flowers is the batter, and Dave Roberts has already popped out of the dugout, and he's pointed to the bullpen, and Alex Wood is going to be taken out of this game after 5 2/3 innings. Alex Wood looked none too happy about that. He curses into his glove as he makes his way to the third base line. The fate of his line left in the hands of the Dodger bullpen as Alex fires the gum to the turf. In the home half of the 6th inning.
Visit Synovus for your banking, lending, and investing needs. Synovus, the bank of here.
2 on, 2 outs for Tyler Flowers. He won't face Alex Wood. He will face J.T. Chargois out of Sulphur, Louisiana High School and the Minnesota Twins. He had Tommy John surgery that cost him 2 years. The Dodgers got him on a waiver claim after the 2017 season. In fact, they signed him in late February. And here he is.
Well, Chargois out of Louisiana, not too surprising. 93 to 95 with that fastball, a good slider. And you're right about Alex Wood. He went down the tunnel and fired his glove up the tunnel after he got taken out.
But he's given the Dodgers a lead into the 6th inning. 2 on, 2 out. And a little tapper is rolled foul. That's something we came to appreciate about Alex Wood. There is no bigger competitor than the former Brave and current Dodger left-handed starter.
He's mild-mannered, great guy, but between the lines, a different story. And he's back.
Last 2 nights, his crowd in Atlanta has waited to erupt something to get him going. Perhaps Flowers can make that happen, as that's in the dirt. Ball 1, strike 1. In Atlanta, in game 1 of this series, didn't score a run until the 8th inning. They were down 8-0 at that point. As Joe mentioned, the Braves led 1-0 after 2 last night. LA got 3 runs in the 4th inning behind Clayton Kershaw. Tonight it's 3-zip in the 6th. Oh, swing and a miss. That was way inside. Tyler was fooled, couldn't stop himself, and now he's down to his last strike.
Might have been a backup slider that was biting in on him, and it was. Kind of chased him.
strike three at the bottom of the zone. Ends the Atlanta threat in the 6th inning. The Braves strand 2 with 2 outs, and we're off to the 7th. Auto Parts. Joe Simpson, Kelsey Winker, Chip Carey, our great Fox Sports crew with you. As Peter Moylan grabs a baseball, he'll come on and pitch in relief of Luke Jackson. Moylan will face the 9-1-2 hitters for Los Angeles. Peter back after a short stint on the disabled list, now pitching in his 39th game.
And 2 good outings for him since coming back. And a full inning of zeros across at Miami and a 1/3 of an inning against the Dodgers in this series. And he'll face Chase Utley.
Chase Utley was given standing ovations every time he popped out of the Dodger dugout in Philadelphia. And Chase Utley has had a big impact on this Dodger team. Look at what he's done as a pinch hitter. Manny Mota is smiling from ear to ear.
You know it.
Not just with Chase Utley, but the rest of the Dodger squad. The LA bench has picked up 47 pinch hits this year.
Goodness.
So Chase Utley, a homer, 14 RBIs. It's already announced that this will be his final go-round with the Dodgers. As this one's popped up left side and off the netting and into the seats, an even count. Chase Utley was on all those great Phillies teams. Shane Victorino and Jimmy Rollins and Ryan Howard and company. And of course, Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee and Cole Hamels. But this guy might have been the heart and soul and the engine that drove the Phillies. Just a great career.
Certainly was the most consistent.
Lifetime .276 big league hitter, 15 seasons, 3 of them with the Dodgers. And the 2-1. Utley really broke onto the scene in 2005, his first full campaign in the major leagues. Drove in 105 runs. And that's a strike. 43 games in 2003, 94 games in 2004, but that 100 RBI season was noticed to the rest of the National League East. Chase Utley is going to be a big part of the Phillies ball club, and he was. 39 years young now as the payoff comes home, and it's bounced towards short. Backhand stab, long throw, right on the money. Utley's out, one down.
The pinch hit leaders among teams, the Dodgers certainly lead 47. The Giants are second with 39. Detroit in the American League has 4.
4 pinch hits.
Yeah.
To quote Bob Uecker in Major League, 4 stinking pinch hits.
Yeah. There are 4 other teams with just 6. So there's good work by LA off the bench.
You bet. Well, you remember those really good Phillies teams? They had 2 types of pinch hitters. They had Greg Dobbs, who was kind of a Chase Utley-like pinch hitter, and then they had Matt Stairs, who hit one of the biggest home runs in Phillies history against the Dodgers in postseason play a few years ago. 1 ball, no strikes. And all the way to the screen. Brewers lead the Giants 1-0. That game's in the second inning out in San Francisco. Watch out for the Brewers. They're trying to chase down the Cubs. Cubs were beaten by the Cardinals today. Milwaukee's only a game and a half out of first place. And as Joe mentioned, they got Mike Moustakas, and that's going to put Travis Shaw at second base, where he's never played, ever. See how that works out. For Craig Counsell's Brewers, who have a trip to Atlanta coming up, as that's inside ball 4. So the Braves have walked a few too many tonight. That's the 5th free pass in this game for the Braves staff. 7 walks last night.
I liked what Shaw said in Milwaukee. He said they talked to me before the acquisition that if it happened that I would probably move to second. And he said, I'm going to tell you, I probably won't be the best second baseman, but I'll do the best I can over there. I appreciated what he was saying because he was just trying to do what's right for the team and make them that much better.
And they're good. They are, well, at least they were really good when they played the Braves.
Yeah.
They had a rough week before the All-Star break. Manny Machado's walked a couple of times. And Moylan almost hit him. Another sellout at SunTrust. As we told you, every seat was sold. Every standing room space was sold tonight. Capacity of 41,758.
Maybe some late inning heroics are in store for them.
Got the plate at the knees, and Machado an even count. Arizona's winning 4-0 in San Diego. Padres have lost 10 of their last 12 games. Not surprisingly, they've faded a bit after trading Brad Hand and Adam Simber, and Machado fought that off. Beautiful piece of hitting, and the Dodgers will have runners at first and third with 1 out. He's not just a home run hitter, is he?
Man, oh man, that was a good pitch. Up and in, running in on him. And just scooted it the other way. Get a double play ball.
Right guy to do that. Matt Kemp leads him with 9. Machado has the most, but they all came with the Baltimore Orioles. So among full-time Dodgers this year, Kemp's the original man for 2. He's hit the ball in the air 3 times, however, tonight. And In his heyday, this was the spot that Bobby Cox would call on Peter Moylan more often than not. Get a ground ball double play and get the Braves bats back in order.
Braves had guys come along in the bullpen that were really good at that. I think of Kevin Grabowski and Greg McMichael, Mike Cather, all good sinker ballers.
The pitch was boring in on Matt's hands. He's down 2 strikes.
Remember Kerry Lightenberg?
Yeah.
I'd like to see him back for the alumni weekend. It'd be great to see him. Braves got him from the Independent League, as I recall. It was being managed by Greg Olson.
It was like 24 baseballs and a bat or something like that.
And a knee brace.
The 0-2 pitch. All the way to the backstop. The ball died at the warning track. And no advance by the runner at third, Taylor. However, Machado moves up, and that takes you out of the double play.
It certainly does. And, you know, that was a heads-up play actually by Taylor, because he has seen the ball come off that brick wall back there and come right back to the catcher. This one missed the brick wall, hit the signage, and died. And by the time that happened, he thought better of it. Didn't want to run into an out with Kemp up there.
So no fun for the infielders. They have to play in for Kemp with 2 strikes. And second and third, 1 out. And it's right back to the mound. Moylan caught it. How about that double play? Look at him, Peter. He's talking to you.
Peter won't even look at him.
Wow.
Oh, that was going to hit him right in the chest. You know what?
Unbelievable end of the top of the 7th. We stretch down 3-0.
The Stretch is brought to you by Advanced.
To smile at that remarkable line drive speared by Peter Moylan, who was smiling, but he couldn't bring himself to look at Kemp, who was all over him at the first base line.
That was a really good exchange too. I appreciate that between 2 good guys.
So you see the defensive changes for the Dodgers. This is Caleb Ferguson, his 11th game. And Ferguson will face Camargo to get things started in the Atlanta 7th. Still a manageable game, 3-0. But the Braves have 1 hit tonight.
In the first inning. Ferguson's fastball 90 to 93. Curveball changeup. Likes his curveball.
Well, he's pitching in the right game for that. Fried had a good one. Alex Wood had a couple of good breaking balls tonight. Kershaw and Hill were brilliant for the Dodgers in the first 2 starts. With that breaking ball, and now Ferguson. back by Camargo. Ferguson was a starting pitcher at AA Tulsa and AAA Oklahoma this year. 3-0, a 153 earned run average. They've got enough starters. And I wonder if that's something the Braves might think about with guys like Touki Toussaint pitching so well. Luis Gohara, who hasn't pitched all that great in AAA. If they can't come up with an exterior solution to bolster the bullpen, would they consider bringing up some of their successful starters and put them in the bullpen because they already have those options in house?
Yeah, one would think you'd at least try it here in the last 2 months. If these guys that are all poised to make their major league debut, if they've all got the kind of stuff that Max Fried has, bring them on. You know, it took him a little bit to get his feet under him at this level and trust his stuff. And that's why I said before that I was glad to see the Braves leave him in the rotation, whether it was here or Gwinnett, and not move him into the bullpen because he's a starter. And if they've got other guys like that that are starters, then leave them there. Otherwise, sure, bring them to shore up the bullpen. If there's room.
If there's room, right. Fouled away by Camargo.
I'm really on the Max Fried bandwagon, if you haven't guessed.
Another excellent start for him tonight would certainly make that understandable. Swing and a drive. That's down the left field line. The Braves are on the board. Johan Camargo is the team leader in RBIs for the Braves since June 1st. That's his 29th since that date. And his 11th home run leads off the 7th.
This home run swing is going to look a lot like Yasiel Puig's. Very simple, easy, and compact. Great balance. Got the head of the bat out there, and he almost hit it as far as Puig did.
So there's a start. Now Inciarte bats, and the crowd gets to chant and chop for the first time in the series. Braves, as you know, all year long have done exceptional work in the 7th inning and beyond. Camargo adds to their 7th plus inning run total with a solo home run. And let's see if they can string something together here, because you know, if you're trailing in the 9th inning, you're staring down the barrel of Kenley Jansen, and that's not easy. Ender 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs to second. This one's lifted toward left, and Jock Peterson had him played perfectly. Near that warning track cutout, and there's the first out of the inning. Dansby Swanson is up next. Saigazi has grabbed a bat and is on deck. He would hit for Peter Moylan.
I can't wait to hear what Peter says about that line drive hit back at him. He might say, what?
Good point.
So glad he caught it.
A bunt try. It's popped up foul. Well, if he hadn't, it would have caught him. And that would have been ugly. It was really hit hard. I don't know what the exit velocity was on it, but it was
hot.
Yes, it was.
That swing earned a lot of punches from some of his teammates in the dugout for Camargo. Mostly Acuna.
I'm told the exit velocity on Kemp's line drive was 105.4 miles an hour.
I believe it. Here it is again if you were headed to the refrigerator.
You can say all you want about Big Blue and the ThinkPad or an Apple computer. The brain is the best computer of all. The reaction time, just unbelievable.
It's right up around his neck, too.
And Dansby goes down swinging. He corkscrews into out number 2 of the inning. And Ozzie will get a big cheer here. He'll bat with 2 outs. A run in and nobody aboard. Ozzie was 0 for 7 in this series. And then in the 8th inning last night, singled on an 0-2 pitch. He broke his bat here and singles on an 0-1 pitch. So again, Atlanta will bring the tying run to the plate. It'll be Ronald Acuna. Nobody up in the Dodger bullpen that I can see, so this inning is Ferguson. So let's see if Acuna can cash in a 2-out knock.
Mistake upstairs. He had to fight that off a little bit like Machado did last inning, or the top of this inning. Ozzie's 2 for 2 as a pinch hitter.
Heck, he's halfway to the Tigers total.
Yeah.
As for our buddy Mike Russell, who's watching the game tonight, 3-1 score. Runner aboard, 2 outs. Eric Young with some last-minute instructions for Albies. Acuna 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. He struck out and grounded out. Machado made a great play on him last time up. Reds lead the Phillies 5-3. That game's in the 8th inning. Braves try to come back against the Dodgers.
Acuna's number is much better against right-handed pitching at 289. 0 for 2 tonight against Alex Wood, drops him down to 200, and even 200 against lefties.
Culberson's on deck. 2 balls and a strike. To third. Machado's got it. And the throw to first is in time. And that will retire the side. Johan Camargo gets the crowd into the game with a leadoff homer here in the 7th. Braves have one of those 3 runs back. 2-run game. We go to the 8th.
Trust. Confidence starts here.
3-1 is your score now. We're through 7 at SunTrust Park. Ozzie Albies stays in the game at second base. Charlie Culberson slides to his right. He'll be at shortstop. Dansby Swanson is out of the game. Dan Winkler will bat 8th and pitch the 8th for the Braves, with the 4, 5, and 6 hitters on the Dodger lineup card coming up.
First appearance for Dan in this series. Last work at Miami 4 days ago. Good inning. No runs or hits. Struck out a batter.
Hernandez has a single and one of the 3 Dodger runs scored, and takes a strike from Winkler. 0-1 your count. Mentioned last night that one of the questions the Dodgers have, the way that their bullpen is configured now, is who can get the ball consistently to Kenley Jansen. Got Pedro Baez back. We saw him pitch in game 1 of the series. But that setup spot, which was occupied so brilliantly by Brandon Morrow last year, is vacant because he's now a member of the Chicago Cubs. And so for Dave Roberts, he got Ferguson through the 7th inning, allowing 1 run. Whoever comes on to pitch the 8th has the 2, 3, 4 hitters for the Braves in what for the moment is a 2-run game. So we'll see if Atlanta can take advantage of that tonight. We're in game 3 of 4 with the Dodgers. Braves trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And we'll do it again. Miami still leads Washington. That's 1-0 in the 8th inning down in Miami. Wow, Gio Gonzalez has got no run support, no luck at the moment at least. Trevor Richards is the man starting that game for the Marlins. Nationals are 16-1 against the Miami team in their last 17 matchups.
Wow. Didn't know that.
And a swing and a miss. Hernandez chased Winkler with a good start. To the 8th inning, 1 up, 1 down. Here's Bellinger. He's been hit by a pitch, walked, scored, and struck out tonight. The strikeout, his 12th strikeout on the road trip in 32 at-bats. At the knees, inside corner. Popped into the seats, out of play, left side by Bellinger. Now it's 1-2.
You want to kind of put a measuring stick on what I was talking about with Bellinger earlier in the game about how much his head moves. From our center field camera, you'll see his head, his helmet line up with that concrete top above the bricks. Just see where it ends up. That one was a much better. There was much less movement there than all the others. Just trying to protect.
Bellinger, a 39 homer year last year. Hit .267, scored 87 runs. Rookie of the Year, All-Star, 9th place in the MVP vote in the National League as well. But as you said, Joe, then the playoffs came and it wasn't nearly as much fun, especially in the World Series, where Bellinger struck out in 17 of his 28 at bats against the Astros.
Houston just did a marvelous job pitching to him and getting him to chase pitches down and in that he just continually could not lay off of.
So a full count to Bellinger. Forsythe next. And that's lifted toward left, and Acuna charges in and makes the play. 2 outs. And here's Forsythe. He has struck out twice, once looking, once swinging. He's also flied out.
You know, in the case of Bellinger and a guy who is an excellent low ball hitter and he loves the ball down and in, if you have pitchers like Houston has and had last year in the World Series, you can exploit their strength, you know, and go to that same area, but in their case with a lot of sliders, so he was seeing a pitch in the area where he wanted it, but it had a lot of diving from that slider. They weren't making mistakes.
And if they get back to the World Series and if they get back against Houston, they're going to have another weapon to face. That's Garrett Cole, who wasn't there last year. And they'll see the Astros on their upcoming homestand after 4 with Milwaukee. Houston to Dodger Stadium for 3.
That ought to draw some big crowds.
Yeah. Dodgers right now 5-3 on this road trip. Milwaukee, Philly, Atlanta. They go home to Milwaukee, Houston, and then Oakland. The Oakland series, I believe, on the road. A couple of games in interleague play. The pitch. He chased that. Dan Winkler pitched a great 8th inning with a couple of strikeouts. So here we go. 2, 3, and 4 for Atlanta. Down 2 in game 3.
The 8th. Time for an Xfinity game break. It's not uncommon to have a player hit 2 home runs in one game. It's difficult, but not uncommon. Rougned Odor, the Rangers down in Houston, did it in an unconventional manner tonight. His first one off the wall. Look at him hauling. He is motoring. Goes all the way around the inside the park home run. His second big fly of the night, more of the traditional manner, over the fence. Right now, Rangers on top of the Astros 7-3. They're in the bottom of the 9th, fellas.
Wow, that's a pretty good night. Rangers fans thinking he is odorable. As he's walloping Houston tonight.
3 errors by the Astros tonight. That's a rarity.
Culberson, first pitch, ground ball to short. 1 man out, ball dropped. Bellinger had it in the leather, couldn't hang on. Second time he's had a case of the dropsies in this series.
The other one, though, was a collision with Freddie Freeman. That one was just a miss. Thank you.
So it's a gift. Dodgers were checking to see if Bellinger held on long enough to get the out. They're not going to review it.
And give Culberson credit for hustling down the line. Otherwise, if he's loafing, Bellinger picks it up and it's still an out.
Shift on for Freeman. Told you, dangerous part of the lineup for the Braves, down 2 runs. And again, even with Ferguson, a left-handed pitcher, you don't worry about your chances with Freeman and Markakis and their great success hitting left-handed pitching. They did little against Alex Wood. Perhaps the young Dodger lefty will bend and break late tonight. Perfect pitch, 0-2. Freddie at .351 against lefties, 8 homers coming in. Markakis at .331 against southpaws. And the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball, caught it short. The shift saved the Dodgers that time. One out.
Man, that was so close. Good play by Taylor. You see him positioned out there behind second, able to spear that. That might be a game changer right there.
Yeah, it'd be 2 on, nobody out if Taylor doesn't get to that pitch. But they had Freeman shaded perfectly for the first out. Now Markakis hits. Nick 0 for 2 with a walk. This young man's got a live arm. That one at 94 miles an hour.
He's made a couple of good pitches to Nick and to Freddie. That fastball away.
Right there, a strike. 1-2. Boy, at first glance, Ferguson looks an awful lot like Tyler Flowers, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Sure does.
Bouncing ball up the middle, right at the second base bag. 1 and 2. No, Bellinger unable to stretch out far enough to retire Markakis, so the inning continues. Markakis called safe at first. Shane Livensbarger is the umpire, and Dave Roberts wants to take a look.
Foot was on the bag.
And the ball was in the glove. I think Livensbarger missed this one, and it's going to be a double play. If this call is overturned, it would be the 3rd double play bounced into by the Braves in the game. And a collective groan from the Braves fans. The Dodgers see the big jumbo scoreboard review. They're already walking off the field. And this one should be an easy reversal. And unfortunately it was. So Markakis doubled up. 3 double plays turned by LA, and we head to the 9th.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. By Delta Airlines. And by Synovus, the bank of here.
3-1 after 8 in Atlanta.
Visit Synovus for your banking, lending, and investing needs. Synovus, the bank of here.
Well, the man in the batter's box leading off for the Dodgers has accounted for all 3 of their RBIs. He will face off with Sam Freeman, who's had a rough patch over the last 4 or 5 weeks and comes in trailing 3-1. Chance for Sam to get on the beam with a low leverage inning.
Yeah, he's given up runs in each of the 3 outings he's had since the All-Star break. He could use a good inning.
There's never been anything wrong with Sam's fastball.
Nope.
But it's when he's had to throw that fastball that I think's led to a lot of problems. Falling behind hitters, and then in fastball counts, boom. But a good start getting ahead of Puig. He's back off the DL with an oblique problem. Cost him 15 days. And he's come back with a bang. A sac fly in the second, a 2-run homer off Luke Jackson in the 6th. There's a break. Puig couldn't get his bat out of the way, and it's 1-2. Reds held off the Phillies 6-2. That's a final. They're in the 9th inning in Miami. The Marlins lead the Nationals 1-0, 1 out at Marlins Park. Wonder who's trying to close that one out. Is it going to be Ziegler, Barraclough, Conley, Steckenrider?
I'm going to go Barraclough on that. They need to showcase him a little more. Had Chan and the guys in the truck, Drew Jenkins, look it up for me earlier. Well, I was wondering if anybody else has given up more homers to the Dodgers than the Braves. Braves are what, 13?
It's 12-13.
The Padres have given up 14 to the Dodgers, but that's not the most. Of course, the Padres have played a lot against the Dodgers. The Pirates, in 6 games against LA, has given up 18 home runs.
What?
18. 4 on July 2nd and 6 on July 3rd, but 18 total in 6 games.
Hi again, everybody.
This is game 6 right here.
Wow.
Against the Dodgers tonight for Atlanta.
Pop fly foul. As Puig stays alive, 2-2.
Well, if we think about those Bronx Bombers in New York,
yeah,
hitting all those homers in Yankee Stadium, that ain't like hitting all these homers that the Dodgers are hitting playing in their ballpark.
Well,
even though we've been talking about how it jumps there.
Yeah, well, that's a big league ballpark.
Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Yasiel Puig, and just low, and it's a full count. Puig asks for time and has it. And Washington has runners 1st and 3rd in the 9th inning. In a 1-0 game, and Freeman gets 2 strikes and then walks Puig to start the 9th. So a little nervousness here in Atlanta as you look in at SunTrust Park from our Xfinity cam. Sellout crowd, 41,758 tonight. And the Nationals have tied the game 1-1 and have runners 1st and 3rd. Big series for the Nationals. In Miami, they've picked up 2 games on the Braves in the standings these last 2 days. Watch out.
Yeah, that was what was so preposterous about the comments made that, well, after the Miami series, the Nationals will evaluate if they're buyers or sellers. Well, it might also be affected by what happens in this series and the series in Cincinnati, because just as we wondered, they're gaining ground on both teams.
Well, and it's all predicated on them winning games. I mean, they entered that series below 500. They're trying to pick up 3 games in as many days against Atlanta, with the deadline rapidly approaching. And a strike. Yeah, I mean, that's when you're not atop your division, the only thing you can control is winning your games, and the Nationals haven't done enough of that. But they are tonight, or about to. As a 1-1 pitch is coming up from Sam Freeman to Austin Barnes, who has walked and struck out twice. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, Flowers, Camargo, Inciarte are scheduled. Then the pitcher spot. And if it gets down to the number 9 place on the lineup card, Ozzie Albies. Too high, 3 balls and a strike.
Too high for Jeff Kellogg, but not for Sam Freeman. A little frustration on his face after following through on that pitch and not getting the call. Understandable.
So it's a full count. Puig getting some words of wisdom at first base. He measures off his lead. Freeman looks at him. He's going, and the pitch line foul.
And they are words of wisdom from George Lombard, former Brave. Great athlete, terrific football player. Is he going to Georgia? As I recall.
Yeah, he was. He was a running back and then signed with the Braves in 1994 instead. Former big leaguers on the Dodgers staff. Dave Roberts, of course, their manager. Brant Brown, Bob Guerin, Rick Honeycutt. Rick, who's the honorary mayor of Ringgold, Georgia, their terrific pitching coach. Mark Pryor, remember him?
Sure.
He's the bullpen coach for the Dodgers. Turner Ward, their hitting coach. Chris Woodward, former Brave, is the third base coach. And another walk. Chuck Hernandez is on his way out. And this is not a criticism solely of Sam Freeman, but right now, with the struggles collectively of the Braves bullpen, Brian Snitker has, frankly, some choiceless choices to make. There's nobody really hot that he can call on, and he's limited by the ability to use some of his relievers. Minter is the closer. Carl pitched yesterday. Brian doesn't want to use those guys in back-to-back games if he can avoid it. Winkler came in, pitched a perfect inning. Johnny Venters has pitched in 15 innings and 23 appearances. You know about his history of arm problems. Don't want to use him in a back-to-back game. So that's why it's been Jackson, Moylan, Winkler, and now Freeman tonight. And by and large, that group's done, well, okay.
Well, when the starter went 5 innings, Max Fried, who pitched very well.
Right.
That again, they wanted to get multiple innings out of Luke Jackson, and it didn't happen. Gave up the home run to Puig and only worked 1 inning.
Jock Peterson is the hitter, lefty versus lefty, and that ball bounced 3 feet in front of the plate.
I got a good piece of Tyler Flowers too.
Back-to-back walks to start the 9th in a 2-run game.
Johnny Venners gets up again in the Braves bullpen.
One ball, no strikes. Chan, what was Max Fried's pitch count tonight? '87 pitches in 5 innings. Again, Fried just back. And with his blister problems, etc., Braves went for a pinch hitter after he went 5 innings. A line drive to left. Acuna catches that, no advance. So Peterson's attempt to slice a shot down the left field line goes unrewarded. Freeman has the first out. And now back to the top of the order.
That probably drops in on a lot of left fielders because it was a real low pitch that he just went down and kind of, as you said, kind of a lob wedge down the line. And were it not for Ronald's good speed, he wouldn't have gotten to it either.
So a ground ball gets you a double play potentially and gets you to the bottom of the 9th inning, down 3-1. Taylor has struck out twice, singled and walked once. As we told you, Taylor continues to be a tough out against the Braves. He came into play tonight with a .347 lifetime average against Atlanta pitching. He's already notched 4 hits in this series. The pitch in for a strike. Sam's gotten to strike 1 and strike 2 to a couple of these hitters. Let's see if he can finish off Mr. Taylor. One strike away from ending this at bat by Taylor. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Getting ahead, as you said, not the issue. Go ahead and get the out right here and not mess around.
Ground ball up the middle, a base hit. Here comes Puig around third. Sam got him to 2 strikes, but couldn't put him away. And Taylor continues to punish the Braves. A big insurance run. It's now 4-1 Dodgers.
Almost like a cutter that started in the middle of the plate, didn't move enough in on him.
So the rough run of luck for Sam Freeman continues. 2 walks, a single, a run across. 4-1 LA. The 9th inning continues. Chipper Jones pregame ceremony chronicling his induction into the Hall of Fame, which takes place tomorrow. Head to Braves.com/alumni. Get your tickets now and see the full schedule of events. Always one of the most popular weekends for the Braves. Let's see what Johnny Venters can do in back-to-back outings for the Braves. Venters pitched an inning here last night. We'll have to ask Chan to see how many times Venters went back-to-back for the Tampa Bay Rays this year.
No hits or runs. He did walk a batter. He was up earlier tonight. And had to get up this inning to help Sam out. Good thing he stepped off because Barnes was about to go to third, about to walk to third.
Machado is 1 for 2 with a couple of walks tonight. He's 4 for 11 in the series at the plate. The pitch and a line drive into left center field, a base hit. Barnes is around third. He's going to score. The throw comes in towards second, and Machado greets Johnny Venters with a rocket shot single for his 68th RBI between Baltimore and LA, and they are running away late tonight. 2 runs across in the ninth.
His 3rd and 4th RBIs as a Dodger. He's hitting the ball really hard. That ball was just over the shortstop's head and almost got through into the wall.
So it'll be Muncy for Ferguson here in the Dodger ninth. Ferguson 2 innings of 1-run relief. Oh, up and in, and Muncy got nailed. That's a dangerous spot, and the Dodgers have him loaded in the 9th inning.
It's a painful spot too in the back of the arm. Good turn by Muncy to get out of the way of that. Get his head out of the way of it anyway.
So no place to put Kike Hernandez. Base is full of Dodgers in the 9th inning. They've scored 2 big insurance runs. 0-1. Johnny Venters pitched 5 times in back-to-back games with the Rays. He's now done it for a 6th time overall this season, working last night and tonight. 2 runs in belong to Sam Freeman. Taylor is his responsibility 90 feet away. The other 2 runners belong to Johnny, who delivers a strike. Right there at the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, if you're looking for positives, I would assume the Dodgers aren't going to use Kenley Jansen here. It's not a save situation. They've got Eric Goodell up.
Yeah, one wouldn't think. You'd save him for tomorrow if you need him.
And strike 3, and Hernandez disagreed, but his vote doesn't count. He is strikeout victim number 1 for Venters in the 2nd out of the inning. Bellinger's reached twice. He's scored once. And a late swing is bounced off the Dodger dugout netting. Strike 1. Braves bullpen has surrendered 4 runs tonight. Freeman 2 in the 9th, Jackson 2 in the 6th. And there's that pitch that has given him so much trouble.
Good action on that pitch from Johnny. Good sign.
See if he can execute another one here and end this prolonged 9th inning. He tried to, but that skipped up there. Even count. Nationals are in extra innings down in Miami. That one's tied 1-1. I believe the Marlins are coming up in the bottom of the 10th. Phillies already lost tonight. And now the 2-2 pitch to Bellinger. Swing and a miss. He chased, and Venters and the Braves are out of the inning. But LA cashes in back-to-back walks to start the inning. They extend their lead to 5-1. Tonight, 2 runs in the 9th inning makes it a 5-1 score. The Braves have 1 run tonight. It was on a Johan Camargo home run leading off the 7th inning. Braves need a few more big blasts in the 9th inning, and they'll try to do that against Eric Goodell.
Goodell 91-93, slider, or excuse me, a split finger pitch and a curveball. Ferguson 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. The home run by Camargo, no walks and a strikeout.
So Goodell will try to get the final 3 outs tonight. The Braves will try to make it a long night for him. Tyler Flowers has walked twice, struck out once, so he's 0 for 1. And the Braves offense has gone ice cold their last 5 home games, just 9 runs. Tonight would be 6 games at home with 10 total runs scored. And with 4 runs allowed by the bullpen, that's the difference in the game. LA got 1 in the first, 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 9th. Alex Wood and company has held the Braves to just 3 hits tonight. Wood entered play with a 6.05 ERA against Atlanta for his career. He gave up 1 hit in 5 2/3 tonight. The 3rd straight left-handed pitcher seen by the Braves in this series.
And you know, the Braves had real good numbers and a real good record against left-handed starting pitchers up until about 2 weeks ago. And now, if they don't come back tonight, they will fall to 15-17 against left-handed starters.
Yeah, you think about that. They had Chen in Miami, then the first 3 with the Dodgers. So it's been a steady diet of southpaws. And you're right, that Atlanta success is not there right now. Camargo's had a little success tonight, a long homer in the 7th inning. That made it a 3-1 game. That led off the 7th inning against Ferguson. 2 homers hit tonight, and they were both moonshots. This one off Camargo's bat, our StatCast AI powered by AWS.
Jumped out of here. 96 feet, 105 miles an hour on that exit velocity.
Popped up left side into the shift. Machado has an easy play, and he makes it 2 outs. So Inciarte will be the final hope for Atlanta. And they're 0 for 3 tonight, 1 for 9 so far in the series. At the moment, Wood and Fried are the pitchers of record. Fly ball, shallow right center. Will it drop? It will not. Hernandez makes the catch. Goodell has an uneventful 1-2-3 9th inning. And the Dodgers have won the series thanks to Yasiel Puig's big night. He knocked in 3 of their 5 runs. And the losing streak for the Braves reaches 4 in a row, Joe. 10 runs in their last 6 games at home. They'll hope for better luck tomorrow as we look at tonight's Coors Light refreshing finish at SunTrust Park.
Got to get some offense going. Try to help the pitchers out. And as you said, it's been hard to score runs here at home. Thankfully, Peter Moylan able to protect himself there and didn't get hurt tonight.
Sean Newcomb and Ross Stripling get things going at 1:35 with first pitch. Braves Live at 1 o'clock. And speaking of the post-game show, it's coming up next. Braves Live presented by Xfinity, live from SunTrust Park, coming your way after the break.